Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast that is brought to you by the power of love and steel-enforced bamboo. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to our post-Battleground edition of Lost in the Midcard. We're going to talk about the entire pay-per-view here, and all we're going to talk about is the pay-per-view, because thankfully nothing major really happened between our episodes on Thursday and tonight, so...
No headlines.
No Austin Aries bailing, no weird shit happening, no drinks being spilled on anybody. Just talking about Battleground. And so, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard, hit the subscribe button. That way you know every time Lost in the Midcard is live for you every Thursday and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. We can also be subscribed upon via the YouTube, and you can find the links to all that on our Facebook page, facebook.com/lostofthemidcard. And also, we're on the Twitter, and we share a lot of the great stuff that comes from the wrestling world on the Twitter. What you got to do is search for @LITMC Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers, and as always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Progressively worse as the evening went on. Now we're here.
I noticed your social media silence the last hour of the pay-per-view, and I kind of wondered.
Because I just got to the point where the old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I was pretty much at that point with this show. I was pretty much done.
Matt, that's not you. What are you talking about?
Well, it ain't going to be me on this podcast. I'll tell you that right now.
All right.
So, yeah, I'll tell you what I really thought of it. I'll tell you what I thought of that show right here on Lost in the Midcard.
And for the first time in a while, welcome back our good buddy Trevor Osz. He's on that Twitter at Trevor Osz. That's Trevor O-S-Z. Trevor, welcome back to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm here.
You're here. You're ready to talk Big Brother, not Battleground, right?
Yeah, let's talk about Big Brother, man.
Yeah, Matt, you can wing it,
what
right?
What a fucking season, man.
It has been a great season of Big Brother.
It really has.
It was fantastic.
It's the best one in a long time.
Great cast.
Never seen an episode in my entire life.
My boy Paul is back. Great cast. And even
full of friendship.
And a physical cast because one of the girls broke her legs. Whoops. But Battleground has come and gone. Matt first overall before we get into it. Yay, nay, meh, eh. What do you think?
This pay-per-view was definitely a meh.
This was a limping along to SummerSlam thing?
The pay-per-view started really, really strong with an awesome tag team title match, and then the result of the second match happened, and the whole pay-per-view just kind of seemed to sputter from there. Like, there were opportunities for things to be really good, and they just weren't.
You agree, Trevor?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, yeah, it wasn't, like, I don't know, like, I don't think a lot of things were necessarily bad, but, like, a lot of things weren't necessarily good either, so.
It kind of felt like a buffer while we get ready for SummerSlam then, basically, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, let's talk about said show. Opening off the Kickoff Show, Aiden English, the Drama King, took on the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. And just as I had wonders about this, because they kind of made him look fairly strong against Randy Orton before he got his ass completely kicked, Aiden English basically got his biggest singles win of his career with a full Nelson face first slam into the canvas for a win after about a 10-minute match, as Aiden English gets the win against Ty Dillinger. Matt, what were your thoughts on the match itself and the fact that Aiden English did actually get the win?
I thought the match was fine. I think whoever tanned Ty Dillinger needs to be fired. Because the dude was fucking orange.
He was Randy Orton levels of orange, wasn't he?
No, he was like so orange it was blinding orange.
He was like Christian orange.
Yeah. Speaking of Christian, he just tweeted minutes ago saying, wonder if these still fit, with a picture of him holding his wrestling boots.
What?
And Randy Orton retweeted it and said, for fuck's sake, I hope so.
What?
One more match.
What?
So
awesome.
I don't know if they're just fucking around, but I wouldn't mind a return of Captain Charisma at SummerSlam.
Wasn't it concussions and shit for Christian?
That's what they said, yeah. But I don't see why he has any reason to tease something like that if something wasn't going to go down.
He's been gone for at least 2 or 3 years, right?
Years, yeah.
And he's never done anything like this, to my knowledge.
No, he never has.
Wow.
And the fact for Orton to acknowledge it.
What?
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know.
For him to go out on his own terms, that would be amazing. Because I know I'm going to speak for all three of us. I would assume all three of us have a lot of respect and love for the man called Christian.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, dude. I've always been a big Christian fan. I'd love to see the dude back in the ring again if he's healthy enough to go.
Oh my God, yes. Because he was basically he wasn't even given a retirement ceremony. He was
just like he's done.
Yeah, he was given nothing on the way out the door. Granted, he's still talked about and got one of the best network shows in the history with the Edge and Christian show of awesomeness that totally reeks of awesomeness. And they got a great podcast now too. Man, I did not know that. That's fucking great.
Yeah, well, it literally just happened on Twitter as we're recording.
Oh, so, nice. Well, it's funny how things start to Matt. It's funny how like the past month things have been breaking when we record. I don't know if that's coincidence or if that's just.
It's why I always keep an eye out on social media while we're recording, just in case something breaks. That way we can talk about it and we don't have to wait for days to do it later.
Yeah, lots of interesting stuff has come down while we've recorded the last few weeks, and wow, that would be a complete bombshell to hear Christian's music once again. God, I hope that's true. That'd be great.
Christian and Randy Orton versus the Singh Brothers and the Great Khali in a handicap match at SummerSlam
in the Punjabi Prison.
Oh my God!
It's a Punjabi prison, hell in a cell. There's a roof. You can't escape. Can't even escape. No doors. Roof. Only Mike Chioda there to say, "Good luck, kids."
Oh my God!
Was Mike Chioda the only ref in that thing?
Yeah, they only used one referee for tonight.
He was the only ref the whole night.
Props to that guy.
Because he's Mike Chioda.
Because I watched the Batista Khali Punjabi Prison, and they had like 8 refs, one at least at each door. So Mike Chioda is a boss, man. I said it on the show the other day. I wonder if Aiden English is going to get the win here. Matt, do you feel better or confident that Aiden English can be a solid mid-card guy?
No, to be perfectly honest, I haven't heard this, but I would not be surprised if Ty was getting punished for his back and forth tweets with The Miz a week or two ago. Especially when he referenced doing things with Miz's wife.
I did not see that.
I would not be surprised if this was like a WWE punishing him by having him drop this match date in English. I would not be surprised at all.
The only thing I saw was him saying, "Hey, come over to SmackDown with that title." I did not see any of the other stuff. Whoops.
Yeah, he said something about Miz said something about he was seeing it. He only saw him in dark matches or whatever.
Yeah.
And Ty said something back to the effect of I'm a perfect 10 in the dark. Just ask your wife.
Oh.
And yeah, like they had some not too pleasantries back and forth. They like legit seemed to not like each other, which is odd because I never heard of any previous heat between these guys. But whatever.
That's interesting.
So yeah, I'm kind of thinking this. I'm thinking this loss was punishment tonight. I haven't heard that for sure, but that's my speculation.
The main card kicks off with the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships, the Usos, the New Day. Trevor, were you kind of surprised that Big E was on the sidelines for this one?
Yeah, a little bit. But I think it was a good thing he was.
I agree. We'll get to the end of that in a minute. But Matt, what did you think when you saw it was Kofi and Xavier?
I wanted Xavier to get the win because I felt he was such a non-factor in the reign in the New Day's previous tag title reigns. It was like every time he was in there, we're like, all right, he's the guy that's going to lose the title for the team. And I liked the fact that he was involved, and honestly, I liked the fact he was the one that did get the pinfall.
Yeah.
So. I was super happy that he was in there.
The Usos isolated Woods early on, thanks to a cheap attack, and eventually Kofi would get the hot tag. And this was I don't know, man. Would you call this match of the night, Trevor? Matt, would you put this down?
For sure. There's no other contender.
Yeah, because the other two matches that I thought had the potential to be it, the finishes ruined it. So, yeah, I would say this was match of the night.
One of the cool moments of the match, Kingston going for his trust fall dive, but the Usos caught him for a double power bomb. That looked fucking brutal. And but in the end, man, Jimmy misses a splash off the top. Kingston hits Trouble in Paradise. Woods hits his kind of a springboard kind of coast-to-coast flying elbow on Jimmy, and hello, Xavier Woods' elbow gets the win, and new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Matt, yeah, you're exactly right. Very cool for Xavier to get the win. And he's been getting involved a lot more often in matches, and obviously we know he's a good wrestler. So I think it's very cool that he got the pinfall. Many people probably saw him as the weak link, and many of that 470 days as tag champions and whatnot. He wasn't really much of a factor. So I think, I agree. That was really cool that they did that, and the New Day celebrates. And what a way to kick off Battleground. So we get to follow that with the Rockstar Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Mr. Money in the Bank, Baron Corbin. And Trevor, what were your thoughts on these two getting together finally after this heated battle that's been going back and forth?
Okay, so I really like the match, and if I were to analyze it, like, I understand where they're going with the finish. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it this way, the whole story with this match is you have Baron Corbin who likes to beat the shit out of people and not have any consequence behind it.
Yeah.
So Baron Corbin does that, and then now he goes up against the guy that can go toe-to-toe with him as far as striking and beating someone up goes. So it came down to a point where Baron Corbin was down. It was Shinsuke had the upper hand, so Baron Corbin, to save his pride, he got the DQ. So from like a storytelling standpoint, I actually like the finish, but my reaction to the finish is still kind of negative, and I don't know why.
Is it just because Nakamura was involved and it wasn't quite the top level match, or
like I kind of almost wish they would have had, if they were going to do something along that line, like I wish they would have just had like Corbin low blow him where the ref didn't see him, and then spin him into like an end of days and get a win or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I don't know, like psychology wise, like the actual like story of the match like makes total sense. And Corbin's a shitty heel, like, and I mean that in the best way.
Yeah. So completely not completely off subject, but a little bit off subject. Do you feel confident with him stepping up against one of the pro wrestling's greats? Do you feel confident in Baron Corbin as a world champion, considering he's holding the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Depends on who his opponents are.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think.
But do you feel good if he's holding that title? Do you feel like he's worthy?
I think as a character, yeah, I think he's a great heel.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think his in-ring stuff is. I mean, he's solid though. Like, I'm not saying he's bad in the ring or anything. I just don't think he's up to par with a lot of the other guys that you see on the SmackDown brand. But that's more because he's newer.
Yeah,
that's and he'll get better with time, and he has gotten better with time.
He has,
so,
yeah. And he's
like I think he's really good.
He's only been in the WWE system, so
yeah. And I mean, he's only been in the wrestling business like 3 years, and I mean for 3 years, like I mean he's really good.
Yeah, Matt, did you like the finish? Instead of the typical jobbing out the briefcase winner, did you like how this went down and possibly how it could carry on to SummerSlam, or what were your thoughts on Nakamura and Corbin?
For me, this feud could have easily ended at this pay-per-view. I would have liked to have seen both of these guys go on to other things at SummerSlam.
We all wanted AJ Nakamura at SummerSlam.
Yeah, it would have been really nice, and unfortunately, clearly, we're not going to get that. But I thought Corbin had his best match main roster wise with Nakamura tonight until the finish. I felt the finish was really flat, and it just to me it took the excitement level I had for this show completely down a couple notches, because I was feeling really good after the opener, and the finish of this match just left a nasty taste in my mouth. And because I was like, oh god, this feud's going to continue. This is going to be what these guys are doing at This is going to be what they're doing at SummerSlam, and I'm just, I don't know. I didn't care for it.
Well,
like, I didn't want to see this feud continue at all, but it's going to, clearly.
Compared to the prospect of AJ and Nakamura, yeah, I mean, this is not what we want. But at the same time, I feel like the Shinsuke and Baron feud has been good. I've enjoyed it a lot. I think it's allowed Shinsuke to kind of grow as a performer, for one. It's allowed Baron a top-notch performer, for two. And they've worked well together in terms of the backstage stuff. And I thought the match in the ring was solid. And, I don't hate the fact that this is continuing. We all wished for AJ and Nakamura at SummerSlam. And when they teased that, we all had that in our heads. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's too soon to have AJ and Nakamura. I really do. And plus, if you're going to have that, like, I mean, I know SummerSlam is supposed to be the WrestleMania of the summer, but really, like, you might want to save it for WrestleMania.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show before, where, I mean, our dream scenario is these two for the title at WrestleMania. So
yeah, and that's what I was planning for. But I mean, they teased the match at SmackDown on Tuesday, so it made you think, if they're both going to move on from their feuds and go on to have that match at SummerSlam, that's going to be pretty fucking great. But yeah. Clearly, that's not happening, and both of those feuds are continuing whether we like them or not.
Yeah,
you got to think about it this way too, though. Like, is SummerSlam the place that you should start a new feud, or is that the place where feuds should be ending? And I think SummerSlam's a place where they should be ending. Like
It's a
there
good
should
point,
be
yeah.
like builds to these feuds, and then SummerSlam's like essentially what WrestleMania is supposed to be, where a feud's supposed to end. I mean, that doesn't always happen anymore because you have the Backlash or the Extreme Rules after now and all that bullshit. But
yeah, and you get a reset period, and so after WrestleMania was a reset period, and now after SmackDown or after SummerSlam, that'll be a reset period, and potentially we may have a Bobby Roode and an Asuka on the main roster on that reset period too. And yeah, I'm not disappointed that this is continuing by any means. In both feuds, we'll get to Kevin Owens and AJ a little bit here, but I'm not disappointed by any means that either feud is ending because they've both been great feuds. If it is AJ and KO at SummerSlam, they're going to take what happened tonight and up it by 10 and probably give us a match of the year candidate. And I fully expect Nakamura and Corbin to do that as well. So I'm not too disappointed in the fact that these are continuing. So, but obviously I wanted AJ and Nakamura at WrestleMania. But hey, there's time for that still. So, and I still think AJ. I still believe my early prediction I made 1 or 2 months ago. I still feel like AJ Styles is going to win the Rumble this year. So. Now it probably won't lead to AJ and Nakamura at Mania this year, but hopefully at 35 it will. Next up is the Fatal 5-Way elimination match for the right to face Naomi at SummerSlam for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Lana, Becky Lynch, and Tamina take each other on. And first one out is Tamina due to the disarmor. Matt, were you surprised that Tamina was the first out, considering there's been that alliance between Alana and Tamina lately? Did you expect her to be the first one to tap out?
No, the way they worked it, I mean, Lana and Tamina both went out within 30 seconds of each other. It may be a minute.
Yeah.
It was a very. I think there were like 3 eliminations in under 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was insane.
And honestly, this match could have been really good had they given it another. Yeah, they would have given this match another 5 or 10 minutes. This match could have been really good, but they really rushed these girls, and I felt really bad for them because I was looking forward to this match. And again, this is another one where the finish felt flat. I felt they were rushed. I don't think they were given enough time to really, do their match, and it showed, and it sucked. And maybe it would have just been better if it would have just been one pinfall to a finish instead of an elimination style. They would have had more time to build that way. But yeah, I was just kind of left. The
match itself went about 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Tamina and Lana both eliminated quickly by Becky Lynch, but Natalya...
they were probably... Dude, I'm telling you right now, they were probably eliminated at, like, the 8-minute mark. Like, Tamina, Lana, and Becky were all eliminated within, like, 2 minutes of each other, and I bet you it all happened between, like, the 7 to 9 minute mark that they were eliminated, and Natty and Charlotte was like, blink and you missed it, and it was done.
Yeah.
Like, they hardly had any time left together at the end, and it was disappointing.
Yeah, and you look at the pay-per-view as a whole, and the Punjabi Prison match bled over the top of the hour, at least, I think, by 10 minutes, and so they were definitely stretching for time here. What could they have... And I don't know what they could have really done to...
I mean, they could have went overtime more. They're fucking WWE. I mean, let's be honest. At this point, it's on the network. They have as much time as they want. In that case, and at the same time, like the
are they on pay-per-view though around the world or other outlets still though?
I guess maybe technically, but I don't think they care because they've gone over like half an hour sometimes.
Yeah.
So, like, it wouldn't have been the first time that they have done that. And I just want to say, I think the other problem with this match is, like, they focused too much on the people that they haven't made us believe could actually win this match. So like the majority of this match was like Tamina and Lana, which you knew neither of those two were going to win.
Mm-hmm.
So
we hypothesized maybe because they're
because they're a team or whatever now, which but like the fact is like they didn't like really even focus on like Natty at all, and she's the one that won the damn thing. Like I don't understand like the actual logic there. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. And like one other thing that pisses me off is like how shitty everybody is like towards Lana. Like I get it, like she's still green, she's still new, but like there's this whole there's like everybody like they had Naomi shit on her, they have like all these women basically shit on Lana, like in a kayfabe way, where it's just like why? How are we ever supposed to believe that Lana's gonna win and get a title shot ever if all you do is rake her through the coals every time anybody talks about her? It's like Lana can't win this. Lana shouldn't be here. Lana doesn't deserve this. Then what are the fans supposed to think? The fans are supposed to think Lana can't do any of this shit. So like nobody's ever gonna believe that she can win a goddamn match.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, her final chance at Naomi, I mean, fuck, she got tapped out in less than a minute.
Yeah, like. I just don't understand like the logic there, where they should be at least like, I'm not saying giving her wins, but like at least don't sit there and say like have every other like woman superstar like shit on her endlessly. It's like what?
They haven't let her win a match. They bury her anytime any of the other women talk. It's not a good look for her right now.
Do you think that's by design or impromptu?
I think what they want to do is they want you to think she sucks and she's terrible, and then they're just gonna like pull a fucking win out of nowhere and be like, oh my god, she did it.
And then she goes on a big streak. Because I mean the crowd obviously loves her.
But that like they do that shit, but then like you get people that just don't believe in that person because they do like they shit on people for so long that like then they get this miracle win and all of a sudden it's supposed to be a switch where it's like, all right, yes, like
Bailey lately.
Yeah, like Jinder Mahal. Like,
perfect example.
I very much understood why people weren't like on the Maharaja train when it first started.
Yeah,
because
the original.
They spent years shitting on Jinder Mahal, where it was like, well, this isn't believable at all. Like, they do that constantly. They did it with Dolph Ziggler when they had him win the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dolph Ziggler, where the hell's he?
Yeah,
He's at home. He's at home washing his tights.
But it's like it's just something that doesn't like.
That is a good point. Are they like holding him off for a bit and bringing him back as a face because the whole heel thing wasn't really getting anywhere?
Dude, I don't know.
There's less time on SmackDown. I think that's what it comes down to, because you see these guys that like just don't get TV time at all anymore.
Yeah, they're rotating in and out.
Yeah, because they just don't have time to showcase everybody like Raw does.
The end of the match saw Charlotte hit a boot to Natty, and Natty pulls on an arm bar, and Charlotte countered with the sit-out powerbomb for a 2 count. Good spot there, near fall. Charlotte goes for the moonsault, and Natty gets her knees up to block it, and then Natty sends Charlotte neck first, back first into the turnbuckle, and then covers her for the win after 12 minutes. I'm happy for Natty.
It was a really flat finish.
It was. It didn't look good, but I'm happy just for the result. I'm happy for Natty. I mean, she deserves to have a push here, and
I agree with you, and I think from an actual match standpoint, it might be the best case scenario. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that is because I think Naomi is really good, but I think sometimes when she's in there with people who aren't necessarily veterans,
she can't carry the match.
Yeah, she can't. she has a hard time carrying the match, even though she is very good at what she does. Because I don't want to like make this sound like I have a slight on her. But I think for a big match at SummerSlam, I think Natty, being the veteran that she is, has the potential to pull out a better match with Naomi, I think, than anybody else.
My gut feeling here is that Natty's going to win the title at SummerSlam, and it's going to lead to a Hearts and Flair feud that culminates at Survivor Series.
Not a chance.
Yeah, you don't agree. That's where I think it's going.
I think they're investing a lot into the Naomi Glow thing.
Yeah, I think so.
With the glowing championship and everything. I think the end game is for Charlotte to win this championship, but they didn't want to take the title off Naomi yet, and they looked at the 5 girls and they said, which one's going to get a good match and which one's the most expendable to take the loss at SummerSlam. Congratulations, Natalya. You're the next contestant on the jobber is right.
I don't know. I don't fully agree with that at this point. I don't.
I definitely do.
What I think is going to happen in the long run is I think Naomi's keeping the belt. I think that's what's going to happen. And they wanted to use this time to build Naomi up. I think that's what they're doing here right now.
They need to.
And that's smart. But I think what's going to happen in the end is I think Carmella's going to cash in, win that title, and then it's going to end up where Charlotte takes that belt from Carmella.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if when Charlotte does defeat Naomi for the title, that Carmella doesn't cash in on Charlotte immediately.
Yeah,
they could
take the title from Charlotte and make Charlotte chase again.
Yeah,
they could do that too.
In terms of a story, that would be a better story. I don't know. I right now I just have a feeling Natty's going to win this, and then it's going to be a.
I don't think there's a chance in hell.
Yeah, I don't think Natty's winning that. Not right now. I think after if once they get the women that they want more established essentially, which I think right now is Naomi and Carmella. I think once they're more established. And they become top champions, I think then they'll... Because I think right now with SmackDown, at least the women's division is very much a brand that they're building.
Well, and it's better written, too, compared to Raw.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I just don't...
Sadly, it might be the only thing SmackDown's doing better than Raw right now. And that pains me to say it.
Yeah.
SmackDown's really fallen off over the past month.
It has been a little flat lately, yeah. United States Championship, the champion AJ Styles takes on the face of America, Kevin Owens. I mean, we don't really have to talk about the match. Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, we know it's going to be a great match. They went about 16 minutes. Owens getting some dirty deeds in there to get the victory with shoving AJ into the ref. But... Matt, are you A, surprised at the title change, B, happy at the title change, C, what do you think going forward?
I'm not happy with the title change, for one.
Did you like the match at least?
I liked it till the finish.
Okay.
And that's because the finish told a different story than what the commentators or even Talking Smack sold it as afterwards.
Oh,
because the way the finish played out on my eye from what I was watching is AJ Styles' shoulder was up. The referee was on the opposite side after being knocked out, could only see KO, could not see AJ's other shoulder, and he counted the 3 count.
And he was groggy.
Yeah.
The ref was. So.
But the commentators never acknowledged the fact that AJ's shoulder was up. They didn't acknowledge it on Talking Smack that AJ's shoulder is up. So the story that I would have been okay with and the story that I thought they were trying to tell, their programming did an absolute piss-poor job of acknowledging what it looked like. So if that's not the direction that they're going, and we won't find out until Tuesday...
but do you think Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon bring that up, and this leads to SummerSlam?
Well, if they don't, it's good. If they don't, it's a shit. It was a shit finish.
Yeah, and I mean, you've already established the fact that Daniel Bryan would bring this up because they've done it multiple times with other superstars,
Alexa Bliss and
Lana most recently.
Yep.
So yeah, if they don't acknowledge this on Tuesday, what was the point of that finish?
Oh.
And I think WWE did a really piss poor job from their storytelling side of their company tonight by not acknowledging it by their commentators and not acknowledging it on Talking Smack. You showed.
I wonder if they did that to wait till Tuesday to acknowledge it and let Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon take over. I wonder if they did that.
Well, that makes your entire product look stupid.
Agreed, but it's WWE logic. Hello.
Yeah, they make stuff look stupid like way too much, which is what annoys people like me. But
to wait till Tuesday to explain it. They want you to tune in on Tuesday to see what happens. That's just the way WWE operates. I fully expect they're going to address that on Tuesday, and obviously set up the rematch. Trevor,
honestly, the only match type I'd like to see these two have at SummerSlam would be a ladder match,
or 2 out of 3.
I don't want to see a 2 out of 3 falls.
I don't know if they're going to do a ladder since they just were in Money in the Bank. I don't know if they're going to do a ladder, but
yeah, I don't know. It's just I didn't want to see these guys face off again at SummerSlam. I really didn't. I wanted Styles to move on from this and had Owens do something else.
If Owens had like a credible submission, they could do an I Quit match, which would be amazing. Because obviously
they did kind of tease that.
Well, they teased him doing like the crippling crossface.
He did the crossface, and then AJ, after he countered he countered the calf crusher into the crossface, right?
Yeah,
pretty
sure.
Maybe they establish that crossface more, and maybe it goes. I would love to see an I Quit match with those two. That'd be badass. I am disappointed a little bit because look at all the prospects we had for the U.S. Open Challenge, and now that's no more.
Yeah, they threw that down the toilet real quick. Another reason why I hated the finish.
I was sitting here thinking, oh, Gable's gonna beat AJ somewhere down the road because they're gonna push Gable in the midcard.
I never thought that.
My biggest problem is that they telegraphed it by having fucking Kevin Owens, maybe it's not a new shirt and I just haven't been paying attention, but did he have a new shirt on the pre-show when they interviewed him about being the new face of America? Or is that an older shirt?
He's had that for about a month.
The KO with the U.S., that he had that when he won the title.
No, not the KO with the U.S., but it was different.
It's like a drawing of KO and it says the new face of America on it. Yeah, he's had that for about a month. He's had it for about a month. He just hasn't worn it on TV, but WWE Shop has been selling that.
Okay.
Yeah. They put that out as soon as they started putting his face on the ramp.
Yep. Yeah, around that time.
Then that's just me not paying attention, but I saw him wear that shirt and I was like, he's winning tonight. So
yeah.
I guess it did kind of telegraph it, but not to me it did, but I guess maybe not in retrospect because I didn't realize how old that shirt was. But I don't know. I think the match was good. It was exactly what you would expect out of these two. They're always going to put on a good match. They're always going to have a good show. I agree with Matt on the storytelling aspects. I don't know what they're going to do next with it. And I don't know who's going to keep the title coming out, because they're almost setting up for AJ to take it, but they're kind of not as well. I almost think they're going to keep Kevin Owens being the new face of America.
And honestly, that's not a bad thing.
No, I agree.
Though I really wanted the U.S. Open Challenge to come back, and it would be great if Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon step in and say, "Yeah, Kevin, you got to do that U.S. Open Challenge every week now." That would be kind of cool if someone would step in and make him do that. But at the same time, these are two of the greatest performers in the business today, so I'm not going to argue or bitch at the fact that they're going to possibly have a SummerSlam match. I'm not going to bitch at that at all. And then we transition into me saying I'm not going to bitch about that at all into a flag match between John Cena and Rusev. This was painfully 20 minutes long, I think.
It's so fucking long.
We knew what was going to happen. We know. Yeah. Trevor, what were your thoughts on the flag match?
So here's the thing. I tweeted, Like, as this match was like, they were showing the promos for this, like, did anyone else accidentally on purpose forget this match was coming? Which, like, honestly, I did forget, because it's so forgettable. I mean, who remembers any flag matches ever?
Yeah, and
like,
honestly, I would have been happy if WWE just forgot and didn't put this match on.
Like, I completely, like, I haven't, like, I don't even remember any past flag matches. I'm not going to remember this one. Like, it was very much, like, paint by numbers, exactly what you expected to be. Like, not that John and Rusev didn't have a good match. Like, they did, but, like, I mean, it's exactly what I expected them to have.
Now, let me see if I can remember right, because I'm getting old and my memory's shot, but didn't the last time they have a flag match, it was just the simple fact that the winner's flag was dropped down from above the ring? Or was that not a flag match?
The flag match has always been, both flags are on a pole, and the winner is the first person to pull their flag down from the pole is declared the winner.
Yeah.
What was that thing they did with...
Completely went overboard with ridiculous stipulations on this match.
Yeah, they just like, now you have to take the flag to the ramp and put it in the, like, into the stand. And
what was the thing they did? What was the thing they...
For the record, if you're a patriotic person,
America,
of either Bulgaria or America, this match pissed you off. Because how many times did the flag
hit the ground?
The flags hit the ground and were disrespected as if they were absolutely just glorified props in this match. Like, if you're one of those patriotic people, be it from America or Bulgaria, if you watch this match, you're probably pretty fucking pissed off. Not because of the result, but because of how the flags were treated during the entire match.
And I almost feel like this match was only done as a flag match so they could justify the war-themed Battleground theme of the show. Like, it just felt like shoot in there just to, like, be like, oh yeah, our show's Battleground. It's all about being patriotic and, you know, and like all this stuff. And it's like, okay, all right. So you're just kind of shoehorning that in now, just so you have like this narrative to make the show feel epic. I mean, which it didn't.
We talked about this on the show when Rusev made his return. I mean, we've seen this story before with Rusev and John Cena.
Yeah, like honestly, like
this would be a stupid position to put Rusev in. This is ridiculous.
They could have gone in so many other interesting directions with Rusev. Like, they could have. Well, if they were going to go in the same direction, they could have made it fucking interesting by having Rusev actually win.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid.
Or they could have went into another fucking direction and made Rusev, like, the actual, like, charismatic guy that he is in fucking real life, and just, like, made handsome Rusev come out and be a fucking face.
Yes.
You know?
Imagine him as a face, handsome dancing Rusev, challenging Jinder Mahal. How big of a pop would Rusev have gotten? Yeah.
Because, like, if you watch fucking Total Divas, which I hate to say that I watch fucking Total Divas.
Hey, we're wrestling fans through and through. Yeah. We watch it all.
But Rusev, like, loves being an American. Like, he actually legit, like, loves this country because
look at his Southpaw Regional Wrestling character.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so it would be cool if Rusev was able to actually be himself. It would feel more authentic, for one. Yeah. And for two, like, you could have something fresh and new, because guess what? Rusev and Jinder do have fucking history, so it would actually make sense for them to go that way.
Yeah, and this whole thing with Cena and Rusev was absolutely not fresh and new. I mean, Rusev made his return, and we're like, awesome, Rusev's back. We've seen this shit show before. I mean,
yeah, it's like why bring Rusev back to feed him to Cena? Like, you could have gotten somebody else to do that.
And why bring him back to tell the same old fucking story? I mean,
yeah, like, if you were going to do a flag match, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody else that's a foreign heel, but I'm sure they could have come up with somebody.
Iron Sheik. The fuck you, Dutch Jabroni, John Cena. I'll put you in the camel clutch.
I mean, they can't do that because he would have made John Cena humble and break his back.
John Cena doesn't know what the word humble means.
True.
But But yeah,
he needs to listen to more Kendrick Lamar. But
yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm just like man, like
it did not need to go 20 minutes.
Yeah,
they could have taken 8 minutes of that and put it with the women.
And it sucks because like I legit like John Cena and Rusev both as performers.
Exactly.
I just want to see.
I don't hate Cena at all. I always love.
Yeah,
I like when Cena's here.
I want them to see like do more interesting stuff. Like that's the problem I have is like neither of them are doing interesting things.
That was such a creative cop out to do it this way for Rusev's return. It was ridiculous. We've seen it before. We knew what the answer was going to be.
I felt it set the Rusev character back about 2 years.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And he doesn't even have Lana to fall back on right now.
So let's get that sour taste in out of our mouths and go to something that has been fresh and great on SmackDown Live, the Fashion Files. Tyler Breeze and Fandango in the office, and Breeze telling Fandango he's been a hell of a partner, and Fandango is telling Breeze he's been a hell of a friend. The Ascension show up and say it was them the whole time. And Fandango said, wait, you were at Eddie Money last week. And Victor's trying to say that they were the ones that destroyed their little horse. But then Fandango showed it to him, and the Ascension gasped. They couldn't believe what they saw. And Fandango told him to leave. The lights went out of the office. Fandango had a flashlight, but Breeze was already on the ground, Blair Witch style. And then Fandango got knocked out. And that was it. It was not the conclusion we thought we were going to get. Clearly, Matt, Harper and Rowan, right? Gotta be, right?
That's what it seemed like to me.
Gotta be.
It totally seemed like, it definitely seemed Wyatt family-esque. Yes. So, yeah, I would totally, I'm sticking with what I said on the show on Wednesday. I feel it's Harper, a reunited Harper and Rowan.
Trevor, we haven't had you on the show for a while. What do you think of the Fashion Files?
I mean, honestly, like this was like the only thing on the show where it's like I want to know what happens next.
As a whole, you've loved the Fashion Files like we have, right?
Yeah, I mean they're fucking great.
Yeah, they are.
and it's like, and number two, I want to say Fandango is the best detective since Sherlock Holmes. Because he put 2 and 2 together here.
He did, and the man could ride a stick horse, man.
Yes, he can. But yeah, like it's literally kind of the only thing on the show where I was just like, man, I want to know what happens next to this. Like,
I mean, we've talked about this on the show till we're blue in the face, but there's so many times where they attempt comedy and it's so shitty, and finally they're purposely attempting comedy and we're loving it, and it's like,
yeah.
Obviously,
because it all depends on who's executing it.
Yeah, and
that or maybe it's Fandango and Breeze coming up with the shit on their own, and creative has nothing to do with it.
I think that's part of it. They're probably teaming with someone on creative. I'm guessing. And
it's been so great.
I think it's a direct result of regional championship wrestling.
It could be.
I agree with that as well.
You know, yeah.
And that's a direct result. And that's a direct.
Just come from the popularity of their characters on that sketch show.
Yeah, the Southwest region. Yeah,
and that came because John Cena likes those guys.
Yeah.
So hey, for once, John Cena's using his powers for good.
Who'd have thunk it?
Just not in the flag match.
I gotta go over, Jack. I gotta go win the ball. I gotta go win the title from Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam, Jack.
Yeah, and So Trevor
was saying.
No, I don't want to see that. I want to see something fresh.
You know, I'm telling you right now.
We'll look ahead to SummerSlam.
Here's what's going to happen.
Hold that thought, Matt. Hold that thought. We're going to look ahead to SummerSlam in a little bit. We'll get to that in a minute.
No, this all works out. I need to get this out.
All right.
Nakamura is going to beat Corbin. Cena's going to beat Jinder, and Corbin's going to cash in the Money in the Bank and beat Cena.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's what's going to happen.
So we're gonna make Cena's tying Ric Flair and breaking Ric Flair's reigns cheap.
17th title reign. It's gonna last about 2 minutes. He's gonna beat Jinder and he's gonna get cashed in on by Corbin in Brooklyn, and the crowd will love it.
His 16th reign lasted 2 weeks. His 17th reign is going to last 2 minutes. Way to piss on Ric Flair.
Isn't it great, pal?
No, I don't necessarily agree with that, but like, I mean,
don't agree with what?
Pissing on Ric Flair. It's like whatever. It was going to get broken.
Well, if you want to be,
yeah, but I mean, come on. If we're going to break Ric Flair's world championship record, let's make a big deal about it. Let's build to it.
I agree.
Do it at WrestleMania.
Made a bigger deal of. Yeah, I definitely agree there. But
it is what it is. Same token, if you want to get technical, Ric Flair is like a 22 or 23-time world champion.
Right.
Yeah,
and
the WWE only acknowledges 16 of them.
And at the same time, if they actually use Cena to get people over, then I'm not against that. So,
yeah, just ask Rusev, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
at least he got Kevin Owens over, and look what it's done for him. He's done pretty damn good.
I mean, he helped get Owens and AJ Styles both over.
True.
And like that's the thing. Like when John Cena gets behind somebody, like it's awesome, and I want to see John Cena do his thing. But like if he doesn't, like it's just like,
Yeah, I enjoy. Let me tell you. I mean, I've said this on the show myself. I enjoy when John Cena is on my television. I'm entertained. I like what he has to say. It's just this fucking feud we've seen before. It's not fresh. It's not new. And Cena going over ain't fresh and new either. There could have been a million other things they could have done with Cena and with Rusev that didn't involve them facing each other in an overly long flag match. So
yeah, the match was way too long.
But I enjoy Cena. I like Cena. I think he earned a lot of my respect back when he held the U.S. title 2 years ago.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He was one of my favorite wrestlers in the Thugonomics days, and then he became Vince McMahon's jerk-off toy. But you know. He earned a lot of respect 2 years ago, and I enjoy when he's on my television, and so that's all I have to say about that. And like Trevor said, we forgot about the flag match. Did you also forget about Sami Zayn and Mike Kanellis?
I totally did. I swear to God, I totally did. I thought the Punjabi Prison was next. It was not.
Sami Zayn, Mike Kanellis, they didn't really have much of an act to follow after the flag match, so at least, But pretty good stuff here from these guys. I'm glad to see Mike Bennett finally wrestling again. But as we predicted, Zayn got his win back, and so now it's tied, and probably assume a pre-show rubber match is going to happen at SummerSlam is my gut feeling.
I don't know if they can drag this feud out for another month.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
Who knows? Matt, what'd you think about it was about 7 minutes, but what'd you think about Sami Zayn and Mike Kanellis?
I thought the match was fine. It was in the old Diva match bathroom break spot. Yeah. The match was fine for what it was. My biggest confusion about this whole thing is why didn't they just hold off Mike's debut until tonight and let him get the pay-per-view win against Zayn? Like, it was really weird to debut his match on SmackDown to win, then to just lose 5 days later on the pay-per-view. It just seemed like a really weird booking decision that just, to me, just didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
But hey, at least Sami Zayn got over. I mean, we don't say that too often.
I mean, I you know what? Sami wins fucking most of his matches. Like, it's just like... But
he's
like,
just not getting a push.
Right, it's just like he wins like all the fucking time. It's just they don't do anything with him. Yeah. So he's in kind of like a weird spot where it's like fucking Sami Zayn like always wins matches, but
he's winning more on SmackDown than he ever did on Raw.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like he's always winning, but like he's never like doing anything. Like you just have him like in this feud with Mike Bennett because they needed someone in that spot.
Trevor, are you saying that Sami Zayn is lost in the mid-card?
Yes, he is lost in the mid-card. That's exactly.
Can he be our new mascot since Cesaro's a champion? We might need some new graphics. Hey, we might need some new graphics, Trevor.
You guys are making me do work. I don't like it.
Hey, you haven't done work for 2.5 years. That's when you made that.
Ask me in 2.5 years more.
That's when you made that Cesaro logo. So,
but yeah, I mean, I just like, and I don't think the match was bad. Like the match, like I just like, yeah, it was good. Like it, you know, it's,
and Mike Bennett is looking like he belongs in the WWE.
Yeah, I just don't know, like, I just don't know what the hell they're doing with that gimmick, like where it's gonna go. Like
I don't hate the power of love gimmick at all, but I'm getting annoyed.
But I don't like.
I'm gonna get annoyed if Maria interferes every time he's getting beat down.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I don't hate it, but like I don't love it either. Like I don't know what they're doing. Like what are their long-term plans with that gimmick? Like. Yeah. Do they have long-term plans with it? Like that's
probably not, and that's the
yeah.
We're talking about the WWE here, long-term plans. But
well, I think Mike Bennett just came in to also be just lost in the mid-card.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like they were like, we're bringing this guy in, going to bring him up to the main roster. What are we going to do with him? I don't know. He's going to fight Sami Zayn because we don't know what to do with him either.
Well, if he wasn't married to Maria, he'd be in NXT for a year or two. So.
You know what? Honestly, I think he would have been better off down there.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we damn well know Adam Cole's probably going to spend a year in NXT.
Well, Dave Meltzer's reporting earlier this week that he's trying to bypass NXT and go right to the main roster. And I just need to state for the record right now, Adam Cole, if you're thinking that that's a good idea,
no.
You need to get your head re-examined. And you need to start in NXT under Triple H's creative regime and not come right in under Vince.
Yeah, I mean, listen to the words. Listen to the words of Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura. They are absolutely grateful for the year, Balor in his case 2 years, that they spent in NXT. They were absolutely grateful and glad that that's the path they took. And I bet you Bobby Roode's going to say the exact same thing. And this dude is a guy that could have easily bypassed NXT. He's got brand equity. He's got a championship pedigree. And he's 37, 38 years old. He's not a young guy. And neither was Samoa Joe. And they spent their time in NXT. Look at Samoa Joe. He is now at the top of the card on Monday Night Raw, and he has done a phenomenal job with that. Now, ever since he's won number one contender, he has done a phenomenal job at being at the top of the card, and that's why right now I'm predicting Joe is going to win at SummerSlam. At this point, things could obviously change to make me change my opinion, but I think
I would love that.
I mean, obviously, we were looking at it months ago, and we were like, oh, it's obviously going to be Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar. And now it's not. It's a fatal four-way.
So they haven't confirmed it yet, but it surely looks like that they're going to announce a fatal four-way on Raw tomorrow.
That just tells me that Vince is impressed with what Joe has done in his program with Lesnar. And I think, I have no inside knowledge. I have no rumors. I have no nothing. This is just my observations. I think Vince has seen what Joe has done in his program with Lesnar and how good he's been, and I think Joe's going to win the title at SummerSlam.
And I feel like Lesnar's already on borrowed time with the company anyway, and they need to start, getting the rubs off of Lesnar before his contract's up.
And this UFC news is great. The fact that he might have. Even though there were reports that he didn't, but just the fact that there's reports is probably irking Vince. So maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope for.
But at the same time, is like Lesnar going to take the pin at SummerSlam? Probably not.
He doesn't have to. I don't give a fuck. As long as that title's on Raw every Monday night.
No,
I give a fuck.
I agree, but at the same time, I think it would mean more if if it was a one-on-one with Samoa Joe and Lesnar and Samoa Joe beat him, I think it would mean more than Joe winning it in a four-way.
I agree, but look at all three other guys in the match. If you pin guys, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing either way, but I think Lesnar actually losing and giving the rub to somebody for once would be nice.
It's interesting though. I right now I feel like
other than Goldberg, the guy that needs it.
If I'm Vince, I have Lesnar go down at SummerSlam. I have him be the one take the pinfall or the submission, just because you at most, if he doesn't resign, you've got 7 months left of this guy, and you've spent the last 6 years putting him over your entire roster, except for a part-time guy who came back for 6 months. And there's been no goodwill pushed back to anybody on the roster from the destruction that Brock Lesnar has caused.
And Matt, what you can do is just have Lesnar pass out and not respond. You don't have to have him tap out or get pinned. If Vince is that set on not having Lesnar job out that way, you could just have him pass out in the Coquina clutch.
Yeah, well, Reigns and Strowman are brawling all over the damn arena
while Reigns is committing attempted murder again.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, gentlemen, it is main event time. The Punjabi Prison, first time since 2007. As Matt and I were talking about on last Thursday's Lost in the Midcard, I went back and watched the Batista and Khali Punjabi Prison match at No Mercy 2007. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was interesting. It was a time I wasn't watching every single pay-per-view, so I never did see the match, and I thought the match concept was cool with the 4 doors, and if you call for one to get open and you don't get out, it's closed for good. I thought that concept was cool. I was amazed at the agility of Khali to be able to climb over the top, the outside structure, because that guy's not mobile at all, and obviously Batista doing his job in the match. So I thoroughly enjoyed that match. Thanks to Matt for giving me that idea. I did get to see the Taker and Big Show one, but I think everybody accounts that Batista and Khali was a lot better, right, Matt?
Yeah, I didn't go back and watch Taker and Big Show either, but yeah, I went back and I watched Batista and Khali a few days ago, and I'm just going to be perfectly honest, and I don't care who agrees with me or not, I actually liked Batista and Khali better than the match we got tonight.
Really? Why do you say that?
I thought the match seemed more action heavy with Batista and Khali.
Was it too overbooked? Was this too overbooked for you, or?
I don't know if it was overbooked, but it just felt long, like the flag match. It felt long.
Boy, it went about half an hour.
Yeah, and it felt just like it felt overdone. And I don't know. It just like this is a match, much like the flag match, that could have been done in half the time that it was, and it might have ended up being better for it.
I slightly disagree. I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna agree with you that Batista and Khali was better, because that was actually a lot of great drama.
I hate saying that a Khali match was better than something in 2017. It hurts me to say that, but I really feel that way. Because seriously, I just watched these matches 4 days apart, and I feel like that match from 07 was better.
Yeah, and on top of that, those two structures were further apart, and Batista fucking leaped from structure to structure. That was pretty badass when he did that. Orton just had to reach.
Yeah, they teased redoing that finish tonight.
Yeah, they did. I didn't hate the match though. I'm
not saying I hated it. I'm just saying it just kind of felt flat for me.
I didn't love it, but I was entertained throughout the 30 minutes that it went on. I thought it was well done by the guys. It told a different story because at least I can't speak for the Big Show and Taker, but Khali and Batista, they never really had that in between the structures battle, and Orton and Jinder had a pretty good battle there. You knew the Singh brothers were going to get involved eventually. Then there was the big surprise with the return of the great Khali. And honestly, I thought it was as much as Khali is immobile and not the best wrestler in the world, Matt. I thought it was a cool return. What did you think?
I buried my head in my hands for about a minute.
Trevor?
As Khali was taking 10 million years to walk down the aisle.
You know what?
I
actually liked it.
I did too. Just 'cause
The
it's been a
only
while.
reason I liked it is because I didn't know about it ahead of time.
Yeah, like I liked it.
But nobody reported that Khali was backstage or that a Great Khali return was imminent or anything like that. But like beyond that, the thought of a Great Khali, Jinder Mahal, Singh Brothers stable going forward just makes my head hurt.
I mean, I don't know his status going forward. Like if it becomes a thing going forward, but if it's like a one night, surprise, I liked it. It's a good callback too, because if you listen to like Jinder on Talk Is Jericho, he talked about his relationship with Khali and what kind of relationship they have, and I think it's kind of like a cool thing where, and Jinder talked on Talking Smack about family and family being there for each other. And being an Indian, your family sticks together. Like I think that was like a really cool aspect of it. And knowing like almost the backstory, like I thought it was a really cool moment for both of them. And I honestly like I really actually like the visual of like Khali's like hand around Orton's throat.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like,
I like that.
It was a good visual.
Mm-hmm. And I thought the action in the ring was good. I thought the drama to get to the doors, I enjoyed all of that. And then I liked how we had a battle outside of the ring in between the two structures. I overall I liked it. A lot of people didn't seem to like it. I liked it too. It's not going to be my match of the year by far, but I liked it.
No, but I think it did what it needed to. I mean, they told a good story with Orton getting hit on the arm. I mean, he worked on the arm a little bit in the ring, and then he worked on the arm by using the kendo sticks and stuff. To the point where Orton's arm was bleeding, which provided a good visual. I think what kind of hurts it for me is the fact that like I just don't give a shit about Randy Orton. Like, I just don't care. And, I mean, and that's nothing against Randy. Which is super weird. I just had, like, I'm having deja vu right now. Like, in the worst way.
And Bully Ray took to Twitter about an hour ago. Dear God, settle down, people. I'm sure Khali's just a humble advocate.
But, yeah, I mean, like, I think Orton is definitely one of the best guys they have there when used in an interesting way. I just don't think he's like interesting right now, and they tried to make him like this like American like fight for America dude. It's like, no, that's not Randy Orton. Like, no, don't do that. Like it makes him look like an idiot. And that's no offense to like Randy, because that's not on him. That's on the company. I just don't like the way that they told that part of the story, but I like the actual like in-ring action and stuff has been good for the most part.
At LITMC Podcast, we put up our poll as we always do after a pay-per-view and asked you, how do you rate Battleground? And it was not good. Almost half of the votes went D or F, 48%. Next was C at 27%, B at 15%, A at 10%. Matt, what do you think of those votes?
I'd say it's pretty damn accurate.
And well, where do we go from here? We're going to SummerSlam. And what Matt? What do we expect on the tag team side? Do we expect the New Day Uso feud to continue?
I mean, it certainly seems that way. Storyline dictates that the Usos would have a rematch clause, so I would assume that they'll do battle one more time at SummerSlam. I would think New Day would get the win and move on from there.
Same thing with Nakamura and Corbin based on the finish.
Yeah, I think SummerSlam is going to be the land of 1,000 rematches, which honestly is a little disappointing to me. I mean, I understand it's a place to finish feuds, but I liked pay-per-views more when there were less of them, because when there's so many pay-per-views now, when you're taking like rematches of things you've seen several times before into the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, it just kind of feels like been there, done that.
Well, at least on the Raw side, it's not really like that much.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Well, you say that, but how many times have we seen Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman?
Yeah.
That's a fatal 4-way, though.
Yeah, you can say that, but I mean, it's
yeah.
Well, we know
but
what's
still,
happening.
I mean, you get my point. Like,
We know what's happening with the women.
not that it's been bad. Like, I enjoy that feud, but
It's probably been one of the better feuds of the year. Trevor, on the women's side, you happy that Natalia's in this spot? Or disappointed? Or
I don't really have a strong feeling either way. Like, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I just,
I
good
think
for
it'll be a
Natalia.
solid. I think it'll be a solid
Yeah, I
match
think
with a
it'll be
very
a good
predictable
match.
outcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the match will be good.
you guys think Kevin Owens, AJ Styles carries over to SummerSlam now?
Yeah.
I see no way around it.
Yeah. Are we seeing no way around John Cena, Jinder Mahal?
I feel like it's destiny, dude.
Unless they have like something fucking planned on Raw for John Cena, I don't. It seems the most logical thing.
It seems like we're gonna get Cena and Mahal and Orton and Khali.
I was gonna say, what would you like to see Orton do next?
I think he's gonna be stuck with Khali, dude.
Is there an option for take some time off?
Has he got a movie coming up? Well, he just did a movie, so
He'd be better off taking time off.
Yeah, because like when Orton comes back, he always feels fresh. Like, and I like, I don't know, like depending on the feud, like Orton can be really interesting, but like also depending on the feud, Orton can be very boring. So,
And it's kind of fallen on the boring line with this feud with Jinder.
yeah, and that's
maybe time to turn him heel.
Yeah, he's not a. I mean, he works as a face, but he works as a face in like an anti-hero sense. He doesn't work as like the traditional baby face where you're gonna try to like rally people like around America. You know,
he beat the holy hell out of Aiden English a couple of weeks ago. So
yeah.
All right, Trevor, what are your final thoughts on Battleground for tonight, man?
I mean, it was an okay show. Like nothing spectacular other than that tag match.
Would you put it as the worst of the year, pay-per-view wise?
I mean, I'd have to really think about it, but it potentially, yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Lost in the Midcard. And as always, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. If you haven't done so already, make sure you search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way every Thursday and most Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube. And the links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. And we're also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. Matt's on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. Trevor's on the Twitter at Trevor Osz, Trevor OSZ, and I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we right off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
God, I hope SummerSlam is better than what we got tonight.
Great Khali, that's all I gotta say, right? For Matt and Trevor, I'm Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We'll catch you on Thursday.